Good morning. Welcome to the Soulful Illumination Show. How are you today? What is up? Happy, wonderful people. I just want to express first thing today on this wonderful Thursday. Every Thursday at 9 a.m., we come to you. I want to express my gratitude to the beautiful people that reached out to me this week and had sessions. How awesome is it to be able to do virtual sessions and heal people live, one to one? How amazing. If you'd like a session, you want to go ahead and reach out to me. Welcome everybody listening from around the world, traveling from space time continuum, coming through the dimensions and the portals, all of the frequencies here, coming at you from a bunker somewhere near Area 51 in fabulous Las Vegas, Nevada. I am your lady of love and light, Nicole Borghi, coming at you. I am the Enlightened Enchantress. And a little bit of housework here, a little bit of housekeeping here. We're going to look at, let's get it together. What do we do? We're out here. I'm a healer. I'm a soulful coach. I'm here for you to heal and to help. And that's my background. And that's why I bring this show to you, because I want to share with you the beauty of healing beyond life, a little bit of inner child work, shadow. We want to talk about everything and anything on the show. Definitely everything that has to do with what? Frequency. That is my thing, because everything is energy. Energy always exists and it never goes away. So remember, like and subscribe, join the tribe, visit my webpage, www.illuminatevegas.com, and support the show. Support my subscribers. I bring the show to you free every week because it's so important for me to share with you the love and the light every day. Okay. So go check out my show page and visit my sponsors because they support me. And I want to support them just like I support you. And today we're going to have a beautiful guest, Beverly Zymet. But Beverly, one thing before I forget, guys, I almost forgot it. I have something I want to introduce. Every week, I want to read a psychic question because, hey, I'm a psychic medium and I can. So I want to read a psychic question to you. But you have to email me. Email me at illuminatingvegas@gmail.com. It'll be in the subscription below. A psychic question. Put in the title, put in the header, psychic, and I'll get it, right? And you ask me one question that you're dying to know. I'll read it live on the air. How beautiful is that? Let's go now, beautiful people, to the cosmos and meet up with my mentor, right? My mentor, my friend, book writer, educator. Was it IR mentoring? She is a mentor. I'll let Beverly tell you because she tells it better than I do. She is the best. I've got to say that, guys. I wouldn't be here in this spot without her because I wouldn't even taken a picture of myself or been live ever. Wasn't going to happen until I met Beverly. Beverly, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Nicole. It's a pleasure being here. And I'll tell you, you are just a beautiful little spirit. I remember this day I met you. Oh my goodness. There was like 4 of us. We all go to this networking and none of us wanted to be there, but we were all like a magnet. And it's 4 or 5 years ago. And, we're still connected, which is crazy.
Yes.
And
yes.
So here's this shy little Nicole. And she's like, has all this power and this energy, right? And I said, what are you doing with why aren't you doing this? And why aren't you doing that? And she goes, oh, I couldn't do that. Really? Why not? Oh, because I couldn't do that. It's like, well, look at her now. Look at her now. Because why? She decided that I am important. I really can make a difference. I can support myself. I have to listen to me. It's that self-discovery. And when you get that self-discovery and you start to feel really, really good about yourself, you can resonate to the rest of the world. And what you are doing here, It's such an honor to be on your show. And it's like, oh, yeah, what, 4 or 5 years ago, like you said, that wouldn't happen. And here you are. And it's awesome to see that. And you're shining, your energy is expanding, you're coming into your real power and the truth of who you are. And that's what your show is all about, illuminating. I mean, come on, look at this beautiful soul here. Can you get any more illuminating than that, right? Woo! That is so awesome. That is so awesome.
It just speaks so much on the volume and the sense of finding out who you are,
Right.
what you want to be, who you want to become, and why. Finding your why. Why do you want to do it? I want to share. I want to teach. I want to grow. But I had to find out what was my message. And that just held me back because I didn't know what my why was. Why did I want to do it? Well, I don't know, just because. I just felt this inner need. And people would ask me, I don't know. And I just felt this inner intensity, this knowing. And it drove me like my psychic ability and my psychic intuitive connection, because I could see and I could feel, and I always followed that, but I didn't always speak the truth of that. And I knew it was there, but I didn't listen all the time. But you helped me bring that out and share a way personally to connect to people and to share with people, the importance of being your true self, of speaking your truth. Because I tried for so long to be this or that person, or the mom, or the educator, or this, a fit in this one category, but I felt always like I just couldn't identify with myself. And a lot of that was my growing up. And if you don't know, and I'm always honest about it, I grew up in an mentally unstable home with parents who had issues, paranoid schizophrenia. They call it now dissociative disorder. We had manic depression, we had depression, we had bipolar, we had multi-personality disorder. And sometimes that would just put Sybil to shame, you know. And
there you
so
go.
when you're growing up and you're 14 or 16, or you start even as a tweener to identify who you are and to love yourself, it's hard to do it because you don't know who you are and you're trying to identify yourself. Well, imagine every time you go home, your parents somebody different. They dressed differently, they looked differently, they acted differently. One day that my dad was happy and one day he was angry. And I didn't know. I didn't know how to become that because I had no pattern to follow. And it was huge to grow up and find who I was, establish my boundaries. And I needed that so bad, but I needed to come out of that anger. And to bring that back, that was definitely Beverly, because she had the tools and the skills that she developed over years. Beverly, go ahead, please tell everybody about you and your wonderment, because I have one of your books here, Essential Oils Made Easy, that I just use with my clients. What is that other book, that gorgeous book that you have, The Power Formula? That is amazing. I'll let you tell that while I go in the chat. Guys, don't forget, hit the chat. We're live.
Okay, so you mentioned at the beginning introduction, IR, right? The letter I and the letter R, mentoring. Identity revelation is what the IR stands for. So what have you just been speaking about is finding your identity. And what started me on my journey way back in 1974 was finding my identity, right? And I can tell you, back in 1974 in the Midwest, there wasn't a whole lot of anything back there, right? And again, so how do you identify with who you are? You identify by association with everything that's around you. What people say you are. Oh, well, you do this, you're so and so's mom, you're married to so and so, I write for the newspaper, or you pump gas, or you whatever, right? So here you are by being identified by association. But who am I? And you made a really strong point about trying to find yourself because you didn't have a why.
No.
Right. And you had nothing to relate to. Like you said, one day your parents were this, and the next day they were somebody else, and the next day somebody else. Who are you? Do I have to be somebody different all the time? Right?
Mm.
And so, how do you find who you are? And we sometimes create who we think we are around what we think or feel everyone else is telling us that we need to be. So we become what we think others want us to be, so we can be what? We can be
Mm.
liked, we can be accepted, we can be looked at as important, but
Yep.
at the same time, and you really hit it when you said, I didn't know.
Yeah.
I'm lost. Uh, who am I? And sometimes it really takes another person on the other side, outside of who you
Mm-hmm.
are, to recognize who the inner part and the soul essence of who you are. So
Mm.
I love the name of your show. I love what you're doing here. And we look at that vibration, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because for me, it's always been vibration too. I mean,
Oh
I even
yeah.
I even did a series called Frequency Flyers, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is really kind of cool because again, with Frequency Flyers, it's all about the vibration of
Mm.
the energy field and the patterns of who you are. So when you talk about that intuitiveness, it's that all knowing that we all have, but we don't know how to recognize it. We don't know what to do with it. It's like, okay, what is it? Because nobody explains it,
No.
right? And
No.
and what is energy? Energy is all around us. Everything that we come in contact with is energy, and it's
Mm-hmm.
constantly moving, constantly changing. It's like this earth. Watch this earth behind me. It's actually moving, right?
All the time.
All the time. And listen to your thoughts. Oh my gosh, we have billions of thoughts every single day. And they're all on what? They're all on a frequency,
Mm.
right? We
That's
live
it.
in, go ahead.
Yeah, because and what frequency you're vibing at, that's your in networking five closest friends. So if your five closest friends are sad or depressed or low, you're going to be there. If
Right.
you're angry and you're out starting fights, and I've been there, drinking, having a party, waking up, trying to chop your arm off because it's a little coyote ugly. Look at the movie, guys. I'm not going to explain it here. Um, you are in that low vibe, and
Right.
you're waking up, and I didn't even have time to even look and assess myself, so I just grew into that. That was my familiarity. And then I had a kid, and then it was like, oh well, now what? That's scary,
That's a
because
huge
now
responsibility because
what do
nobody
I
tells
do?
you exactly. Exactly. Right. And
Party's over.
yeah, or the party's just beginning. It's how you want to look at that, right? And it's like, okay, I ended up with three, bing, 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 and it's like, whoa, now it's time for a wake up call here, right?
Yes.
Because I was not living my why. I had lost my dream. I had
Mm.
lost the vision of who I thought I was,
Right,
into a
right.
point of I don't know who I am. I know who I'm not. And sometimes when we look to uncover ourselves, so as an identity revelation specialist, what does that actually mean?
Mm.
Right? So what I do is I teach people how to become their own self discovery archaeologist. What does an
Mm.
archaeologist do? Right? They brush away all these little things, to see what's under here and what's over there, right?
Yeah,
So when you
yeah.
can start to move away the things that you're not, you can discover the things that you are. And
Yes.
so someone coming from outside of, so when I met Nicole, I saw her talents. How? Why did I recognize the talents that she has and the abilities of her intuitiveness? Was because I saw a piece of me.
Mm.
There was a reflection of myself there in this precious little spirit
Mm.
that was where I had been years before. And it's like, wow, she needs to shine. She's got a message, right? She's got a delivery here. She doesn't know what she's in for yet, but we need
No,
to see what
no,
we
I
can
didn't.
do. And the more we talked, And the more I shared, and we started doing her little archaeology finds, right?
Yeah.
Okay, this is in the way. Well, does it serve you a purpose? No. Then let's get rid of it. Well, I don't know how to do that. Okay, well, here's how you do it. We went through what? The rah-rah system, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So we recognized that there was an issue. We acknowledged that that issue had been her truth because she didn't know any different. And her cells were saying, yep, yep, yep.
Mm.
Okay, right? And so what did we do? We acknowledged that that was the truth. Now the inner conflict, the subconscious, that cell memory says, oh, okay, it's no big deal. Now we can let go of it.
Yeah.
And so she let go of it. Now she has this void.
And
Well,
that's so marvelous because I needed to fill that void, but I just wanted to stop you because I'm just like, woo, I just remembered. My heart was like, wow, how beautiful remembering that time because I was so damaged. But the thing was when I was ready for help, and you guys, the person that needs the help has got to say, I need help. But you know what? The other thing is what I loved about Beverly's program, and she works the way that I do, and the reason we connected is because, and I've learned to work this way in my soulful coaching, is that she is honest and she is forthright, and she doesn't beat around the bush. And some of us need that because
right.
we've got a thick head, a thick skull right here. That's me, thick-headed, stubborn. But I just need to hear it. I don't want to waste time. I don't have time. I want to work quickly. I want to get it done, hustle
Right.
it, get it over because it takes time and we do things so slowly. And I've procrastinated for like 45 years by the time I met Beverly. And so it's like, okay, 45 years of this, I'm done. I need to move forward. And now is the defined time in this Lion's Gate that we just opened this beautiful portal of self ascension in this marvelous feminine divinity, that it's the strength of that lion and the courage and the swiftness. Okay. It's time to move
Right.
forward because your soul has been telling you to get it done. And your angels are telling you, come on, let's go. Pushing you. They're pushing you. Come on, let's
Well, this
go.
you
Get it
you
done.
you made a comment here, the swiftness, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you looked at 45 years of 45 years creating this Nicole,
Digging a hole.
right? Whatever. This was Nicole for 45 years, and all of a sudden here comes a disruptor that says, you think that's you? I think not. And I'll show you why. Right? And she goes, okay, because it ain't working real good right here, right? And again, when the student's ready, the teacher will appear. And I can tell you right now,
You came out of nowhere. You
I
weren't there a second ago. I just looked to my left and she was in front of me. Literally, divine timing.
and again, the vibrational match, we talk frequency, the vibrational match that brought us together that night. A lot of things had to happen to get both of us there in that environment to be able to connect. And again, it was that magnetic connection,
Yes.
right? So when you look at the 45 years it took you to get here, and look where you've gotten in the last, 4 or 5 years.
Oh, yeah.
So you can undo and recreate that fast.
Yes.
It doesn't
yes.
have to take another 45 years. So Nicole, you didn't have to be 90 to start this journey, right?
I would have figured it out and been done.
That was,
Then had to come back and see a few people to help them along, right?
So we look at the speed of that, because you know what? The only place that's time and space is in the dimension in which we are locked into in our conscious world.
Yes.
Versus our unconscious world.
Because it's not linear.
No, it's not. So we have a higher consciousness, which is that spirit essence, right?
Yeah.
And then we have our subconscious, which is the stored database of our activities and what we've experienced in this third dimension conscious world. Yeah. So when you're looking at the consciousness of who you are, the consciousness is everything that we see around us, right? It's Absolutely. What we make of it. It's an experience that we have, that has to
Mm-hmm.
go get buried in our cell memory. But there's this
Yeah.
little piece called critical part of mind.
Mm-hmm.
What is critical part of mind? It's our justification. Okay? It's our justification of what we perceive to be
Yes.
right or wrong, good or bad, from the database of information that we have. So we cut and paste, and it goes into our fight flight mechanism.
And I could justify anything at any time
Oh,
to
of course. Well,
anybody.
yeah, of course. And you know what? When you look at people who are strategists, you're a strategist, and that's what I recognize in you. Why? Because I'm a strategist. Well, I wasn't a strategist way back then when I was a kid. I was an
Right.
instigator.
Well,
Okay.
yeah, I waited till I
Well,
was an adult to be an instigator.
okay. So, what is the difference between an instigator and a strategist?
Yeah.
The word,
Mm.
the
Mhm.
word, right?
Mhm.
That's the only difference.
Yeah.
So when you look at that, again, we're changing perspectives here. Right?
Mhm.
So, what you become in your justification in that critical part of mind. But what happens is when you lose critical part of mind when you are under the influence of whether it's meditation, whether
Mhm.
it's drugs, whether it's
Mhm.
alcohol, whether it's negative thinking, critical part of mind goes poof.
Yeah.
And then the impact is boom, right there on the spot. Well, what
Mm.
happens in that storage bank is we have reaction and actions, right?
Yeah.
So for every action there's a reaction, and then there's a reaction to that
Karma.
reaction action, so it's like it's back and forth, right? It's so
Right.
here you are on automatic pilot. Your subconscious and all that old database of information is always running on automatic pilot,
Mhm.
because it was our belief back then. We didn't know any different. It was
No.
the database of information. Well, all of a sudden, we're in a different world.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
go further and further and further, right? The outreach. Look where the outreach has gone today
Mm.
with the internet.
Right. Oh, man.
Whoa,
Thank
we get
goodness. Because we do Toastmasters, you guys. I love it. We do speaking on the internet with Zoom because we have some beautiful people that just can't be in the public right now and be susceptible to that. Bless their hearts. So we do it on the internet, virtual, and we do it live on Facebook. I'm live here. I do my clients live. I love it. And
yeah,
I
it's so
it's
so
wonderful.
when you're looking at it from that perspective and the reach. You know, back in the day, the reach
Huge.
was as far as you could walk for the day and back. Right? And
Yeah.
so the expansion of the world.
Oh yeah.
So,
Oh yeah.
and when you get into the different cultures, right? Now there's
Yeah.
different belief systems,
Mm-hmm.
right? So now we are exposed to, where is your mindset? Whoa, we want to talk about frequencies and we want to talk about information. You work in that mindset.
Oh yeah.
What is that? Where is that belief system? And having an open mind and an awareness. You would talk about awakening. Oh my goodness.
The
Are we
quickening,
awake?
and it's the vibration and the awakening. You're opening your eye. You can't tell me right now with this awakening that you're not, your third eye has been open, people. What, know your truth. It's right there. That
You have more
awakening.
time to spend
Beautiful.
with yourself now than ever before.
Yes.
Where is your
Yes.
true identity? And you know what? I'm going to tell you this, Nicole, and you vouch for this if this is true or false. Discovering that identity
Ah.
sometimes can be very ugly,
Yes.
can maybe like make you want to vomit, make you want to run and hide.
And I did. I did. It hits you physically.
Well, let's move into the vibration and the frequencies and stuff that we talked about.
Yeah.
This is kind of surface stuff. I mean, it's not really surface, but it's intention, right?
Hmm.
But let's go into the psychic surgery aspect. Let's go beyond this physical meat machine that we wander
Hmm.
around in. And now let's look at where the field is. Now we really get into some deep frequency,
Yeah.
energy, right?
Yeah.
Because our thoughts our vibration. Our thoughts are what manifest stuff into solidity, right? We slow down a thought pattern and it turns into something solid,
Yeah.
right? Where did the car come from? It
Hmm.
was somebody's thought,
I didn't steal it.
right? Right? So, where did this book come from? It became a thought, right?
Absolutely.
Where did this pen come from?
It
It was
was
a
a
thought.
thought.
Where did this glass come from?
It was all a
It
thought.
was all a thought, right? So when you look at that, that's out here in this space
Mm-hmm.
that we don't, there's nothing there. We reach and we grab, but there's nothing
Mm-hmm.
there. Does that mean there's nothing there? Oh, no. When you learn how to feel vibration,
Mm.
you feel that energy, that
Yeah.
pulsating energy. Now, there's two charges to that vibration. You have a positive charge and you have a negative charge. Negative and positive doesn't mean right or wrong or good or bad.
That's
It
the
means
plug in your wall, guys. Simple
that's
science. Plug
it's
in your
it's
wall. Look at
it's
that
the
chart.
charge. What are you fueling? Your thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
And your thoughts are your perception,
Mm-hmm.
right? So a negative charge can fuel you to rise to heights unknown, or it can drive you into an abyss of darkness, of nothingness, right?
Don't go there, guys.
There's,
Been there, done that. I got the t-shirt.
I got the trophy. So, right? So there you have that. So these thought processings, right? You need to understand, you need to recognize that there's more out there to the world than meets the physical eye.
Mm.
And we talk about
Mm.
intuition and intuitiveness, that gut feeling, that
And
all
doesn't that
knowing.
energy, when you go deep, doesn't that cause disease and pain with that?
Well, again, it's perception,
Yeah,
to solidify what the mind, and we're not talking brain here, we're talking the mind. What the mind can conceive and believe, it does what?
it achieves. Good or
Who,
bad.
and again, who's good or bad is it?
Yeah. Be careful what you ask for and
Because you just
how
might
you
get
ask.
it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So you're responsible for what
Mm-hmm.
you're asking for and in the
Yeah.
format that you're asking it for. But again, where's that database of information?
Mm-hmm.
Where are you willing to say, move it out of the way, shift,
Right.
and go
Right.
with something different, expose yourself to something new? Or
Yeah.
are you going to just settle in and accept it?
Absolutely. Now, in these last few weeks, I have had more calls for psychic surgeries. Guys, if you want to reach out, I'm willing to do a discovery call with you. It's a very private call and it's a very personal journey. I want you to know that I'm very compassionate about this. But the reason we laugh is because we've been through this. And I
Exactly.
can laugh now and I need this energy because otherwise I live in hurt. And I've let that go, but it's very important to understand that there's so many people right now reaching out for it. It works on the compatibility. I feel almost like a soul retrieval, if that's what you guys are looking for. And just in simple, and Beverly's so beautifully articulate at it, and we are looking to put this together and work on a class for people to participate in, or to watch virtually on your own time, and or we can work with it live one-on-one. It's so important to understand that soul and that past coming into the future on a cellular level, the transmutation that you go through, the alchemical change that you want. It's almost sometimes like being in chains, or that somebody has
Right.
hooks in your back, right?
Exactly. That is so important. I don't want to, yes, I do. I want to interrupt you.
Go
And
ahead.
I did, because that's pertinent. That's totally relevant here when you talk about, feels like you've got chains. How many
Mhm.
times, listen to the words that you say.
Yeah.
Man,
Oh
I
yeah.
feel like I am so locked up. I feel like I am so isolated. I feel like, listen to the words that you use, because there is power in that word. And what does that mean? Right?
And
I
the
feel like somebody
digestion.
just knifed
Absolutely.
me.
Oh
I
yeah, and the
feel like
pain.
I got punched in the gut, right?
where does that come to? And a few people I do want to address right now. There was a few women that in this beautiful timing have allowed me to go in and surrender. Even in that lower abdomen, that lower two chakras, almost like removing really like a chastity belt from that because they've been
Exactly.
so locked up. Talk more
Right.
about that.
So, okay, so I can remember the first time when I said, okay, let's surgically remove this. Let's do a psychic
Mhm.
surgery. And she's like, I don't know what that is, but okay, whatever. Because when I described what was happening to her and how she had separated herself, there was like this big cement wall in front of her. It was about, yay wide, and it was
Yeah.
about that thick, right? And it was tall. I mean, it went way above her and it went down into the ground, right? But she had been so closed off in her energy ports of those chakra systems, right? So
Yeah.
closed off and so self-protected
Mm.
that she had built this heavy shield because nobody was going to get to her heart again. Nobody was going to punch her in the gut again. Nobody was going
Mm-mm.
to knife her. But you know what? She also put behind her a shield because there was a lot of knives back there. There was a lot of hurt. There was a lot of damage, right? But it was all here in the energy field.
Mm-hmm.
But it had solidified to some degree in her physical body
Yeah.
through different things where she was feeling pain in different joints and different arenas, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I says, let's take it off. She goes, okay, I don't know what you're doing here, but okay. She trusted me to do that because she knew somewhere deep inside that she needed the assistance and she knew it was going to be for the greater good of herself. So what we did, we psychically removed those big brick cement walls here and took them down. All of a
Yeah.
sudden, she's feeling this exposure, which was like, oh my God. It's almost like feeling you're stark naked inside this big auditorium of 100,000
Free.
people, right? And it's like, oh my God, everybody is looking at me, right? But at the same time, it's like a freeing aspect. So you've got both extremes, right?
Yeah.
And but all of a sudden she's like, whoa, I feel lighter.
I can share this. I can share this with the world. And
Yeah.
I and like you said, it was like, oh my gosh, I'm giving a speech. I'm live in public and forgot my pants. And then I'm like, oh, right. I forgot my pants. Woo! Like a little kid. You know, when a little kid just runs around and they're just happy and they're free and they just want to have a great time. And it's that beautiful freedom and that beautiful energy and the ability now when Beverly removed that and she has gifted me with this is to be able to give people that freedom when they're ready to surrender,
Right.
when they're ready to and they're willing to be awakened to
You
that
so
new
when
life.
what comes up comes out, right? And again, when you can start unloading that stuff out here in the field, in
Mm-hmm.
that quantum field, it doesn't have to materialize inside.
No.
Now, there are things that have materialized inside. I mean, we want to talk in some real in-depth psychic surgery, instantaneous reversals and things like that. Those happen, so when you can actually go in and remove tumors, is that real? Oh, yeah. And it's been proven.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah.
So there's things, I mean, you can work on someone long distance because it is the energy. We are all connected no matter
Mm-hmm.
where it's at, right? You
Mm-hmm.
can stop someone who's bleeding, right? You can stop someone's brain who is getting fluid onto the brain that's causing an issue. You can energetically you can set in tubes that will drain it so that it avoids that, but it's that knowing.
Mm-hmm.
Does the other person have to believe it? Not necessarily. But again, it's communicating with that higher consciousness. It's not just going in and just doing,
No.
because we're all
Yeah.
here for a purpose, right? So it's always gaining permission. And that's
Yeah.
one of the greatest things that that you have to remember. the ego has to move out of the way when you're working in that in that
Bye.
that's right. So when you're working psychic surgery and you're working with someone, because you do have your life in their hands,
Yeah.
it is that critical. We all have our own medical team, and it's teaching you how to recognize your medical team. And that's different from your guides, your spirit totems, because we have a lot. Again, we talk about that energy thing, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, look at Edgar Cayce, all his books, all the research. You guys, the research there, we don't have enough time to go in to prove it today, but do the research. I'm a research hound. That's how I ended up doing all this, because I did that for my
Right.
healing journey, and I'm constantly healing. But go there, go look at Edgar Cayce, look at the power where they talk about meditation, they talk about the change of frequencies with prayer, they talk about these angels coming down. Look at this stuff. Look at how that heals. And we're all here, in a sense, it's manipulation, because you're moving it and guiding it and channeling it. Manipulation without the ego. So you've got to get that out of the way.
Right.
And you've got to trust the person, talk to the person, counsel with a person, have trust in that person.
But trust in yourself. Trust here. This is where it has to
Exactly.
start. You really need to trust in yourself. Because if you don't trust in yourself, you're never going to trust that other person. You need to believe in yourself.
True.
What happening is what's going on in your life right now. Is that working for you? How is that working for you? Are you ready for a change? Because change is going to happen with or without you.
Oh,
what
huge.
is the level and the depth of change that you want? Because, I mean, look at the world today.
Right.
One day, everything was what we call normal, and the next day, boom, everything came to an abrupt halt.
Right.
And what's happening? So where's the normalcy that you find in your spirit?
Right.
This is the change. This is the awakening time. This is the time to recognize that you are not this physical meat machine. You are a spirit of essence. You are this. You are this power. This is the heart-mind connection.
Yes.
Right? The heart has its own brain.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
The brain is the mind's brain, right? So now you have the heart mind, and then you have the mind brain, and you have the heart brain. And that's what runs this meat machine, this electrical current, this magnetic influence, this vibration that's all around us. These are the things that when you create and you allow the damage to become physical in this vessel, you're going to do what? You're going to start suffering from different pains. You're going to suffer from joints. You're going to suffer from organ problems. You're going to just suffer from not only physical things, but emotional things, mental things, right? Your spiritual world is going to be upset and upside down. When we start working with the psychic surgery class, okay, where I take the depth of all of this, Nicole, is into 18 different energy ports.
Yeah.
And how they impact the body, right?
Yeah.
Most people understand 7 energy ports or chakras, right? But they are the connection to the vibrational world is what it is. It's what makes this physical vessel move around and make its movements and do whatever, right? And that freedom. And age is only a number. Pain is only a thought. Pain is a hidden creation. Right? We talked about that critical part of mind. It's a justification. Pain is justification of something that we want to believe that's not real.
But people, we're here on this planet, and we're meant to feel passion, pain. We are meant to be loving, virtuous. We are meant to be manifestors, abundant.
Experience it and let it go. Take the charge away from it.
And huge. And as you shove that down, and you take that, that plunger, and you're just shoving it and shoving it and shoving it down.
Not a good thing.
And I was good at it. You have to clean it up. You have to let it go.
Yeah, because it does not serve a purpose.
It doesn't
The
serve.
more you impact that negative solidity gunk,
It's
the more
bad.
dysfunction this physical body has.
And it's like cleaning out your colon, you guys, and your digestion. And it's the your gut, your heart, and your head, your mind. Those are your three brains. You function with that. Your heart, you cannot, if you're not clean, if you're thinking bad thoughts, your stomach's going to tighten up. You're going to have indigestion. Your heart's not going to feel. Your mind's not clear. You can't focus.
Well, you swallow that, right? You swallow it. So when we work in where that chakra system is, right? Everything starts with a thought. That's your crown chakra. It's open to all the information to come in.
Yeah.
And then we digest it through the third eye, and it's like, okay, whatever. And we come, and now we come into that throat chakra, which is our communication. And if we've been told to shut up, if we, how do we speak
You're
our
swallowing
truth?
that. Yeah.
What is it? And we begin to lose the self. People say, oh, well, you're not going to amount to anything. You're stupid, whatever. We swallow because we don't, we try to talk back, and we get slapped down for it. Right? So it goes into the heart. So now we're feeling the pain of the heart.
Yeah.
And it swallows. And these are our spiritual centers from the heart up. Now when it goes into that solar plexus,
yeah,
now the real digestion starts cutting and pasting. Now we start justifying. Now we move into the denials. It's like, okay, how do I live with this? How do I digest this? What do I do? But the real digestion is the conflict. And that's when the physical body begins to have major issues, because we're in the physical parts, which is the martyr, which is in your solar plexus. Now let's go into the reproductive centers, which is the sacral, which is the victim.
Yes.
Okay.
And those bottom two are exactly what I had a lot of work on. Several clients.
Victim, martyr, victim, martyr, victim, martyr, victim,
and
martyr. And then
it affects your ability to come into the divine feminine or have a beautiful,
to come
loving,
really into your
tantric,
power.
sexual relationship with your partner, and to love yourself.
But you can't even have that relationship with yourself, because you suppress it. You can't get to the heart. The heart is the all-knowing of who you are.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And you've suppressed that self pieces. But when you go down into that base chakra, into that root, that's your survival. That's your total storage bank of the subconscious, that reptilian brain. Fight, flight.
Yeah.
Fight, flight. Right? So victim, martyr, get the hell out of here, or you start a battle, right? But when you start opening up and you start recognizing those things, all of a sudden you start coming up into the heart. And the heart is the all-knowing brain. It's the all-knowing brain of, oh my God, what happened? And now we start to release the angers, the suppression, and the speed going. The speed going from the heart to the throat goes like really fast. And now we talk about action and reaction. Boom, right? Now we become that major expression, and we're thinking, maybe I overreacted on that a little bit.
Guilty. Whoops, let it all out.
But it is freeing, Nicole, what you said there. It is very freeing. But when we understand that process and how we can start regurgitating and eliminating, and not even having to be that expression of, but we can start eliminating the storage banks through that rah-rah system. Very, very fast, and man, I wish I'd had that back in the 70s when I started. But again,
but it was a gift.
My journey to go through what I went through was to be able to be here to work with people like yourself
right now,
to be able to move through speed, right? Awesome. And I still use it myself. I use it daily.
You have to do.
You do.
Sorry, guys, but here's a little truth bomb, you guys. I want to tell you, if your practitioner doesn't do it, then how can they teach you to do it? And it's important.
Oh, it's that walking that talk, right? Walking that talk.
Yes. I thought I could get away with not meditating, and I could still, or being in my higher conscious, or being in my Christ conscious, and not being that way at all times as much as possible. and to work with my shadow self and my inner soul. If I didn't do it and I didn't clear it, then I couldn't, just in my daily, before I even came into my healing practice, I was being a fraud to myself. And that's why I couldn't heal. So I was stuck for a while, kind of going back and forth, like a
Right.
washing machine, you know, and it just back and forth. And so that's where you're fighting with yourself, because you're just not committing. Get to that point where you commit, because now's the time to do it. Now's the time. This is the energy, because if you're not making a decision to heal thyself, then you're allowing someone else to take over that energy that you are creating, and that beauty, which is you, and kind of sticking a straw in you and sucking it out like an energy vampire and taking advantage of you. It's a harsh truth. And you know what, guys?
Oh yeah,
I want you to
it's not
be in
always
love.
pretty.
You have to work with the deep shadow. You have to work into the soul, the subconscious. You have to be ready. We are here to be human. We are here to understand ourselves. We are light workers, but we have to work with both parts of that. And love and light deals with a certain amount of darkness. And that's what my caveat is to work in that darkness and to be able to bring you out of it.
Right.
Not everybody can, but that is something that I worked through, and now I understand it. And Beverly has done that too. What I want to tie up right now, though, is I want to look at what are the energies today, because I know Beverly has this beautiful skill, this beautiful psychic mastery too. And I want to start looking at, what do you get for today? Because I pulled a few things here, and I pulled a few rune stones. I don't know if you guys can see these. They're kind of tiny. What I'll do is I'll take a picture and post it on my Facebook right here. And the energy that I brought up today, because we need to look at our truth. And I believe the rune stones really, either for myself, or it helps me when I'm doing a reading on myself, or
Right.
just a reading out there. It's just one of the tools. And I think that they're a deeper connection. That what I get is torizas, which is protection and luck and counsel. So look at your counsel, look at your guides, look at your spirit for protection. And that's what we're talking about today. Look at your guides. And Anzus, which is wisdom and apprentice. So I had to be the apprentice and seek the wisdom of someone else. So now I can be the teacher and be there. And that's what this energy and our connectivity has for you today. Peathro is the last one I picked, and that's destiny, secrets, and sexuality. There are a lot of sexual secrets coming out right now, but I want you to understand, people, that women, you are beautiful. And you are meant not to be just a piece of meat. You are meant to have a choice to be beautiful, to be in your divine goddess, right? To wear an adoring jewelry if you want, a beautiful sweater with beads if you want, wear gorgeous jewelry, put on your face if you want, or don't. But we have these things, and we've been doing it for thousands of years, adorning ourselves and loving our bodies. And that is what's come up for me so much in these last few weeks for myself and clients, is really to get back to see and understand your beautiful right as a woman to have tantric feeling, to have love, to bring and give, and have that passion and compassion with your partner, whoever, however. What is yours? Because when you feel the passion and love just for yourself, you can feel the passion from someone else, and it is easy for them to give, and it's easy for you to get, whether it's just hand holding or holding and hugging one another, or just a beautiful touch, a kiss. And it's such a big, broader thing. And that, just bringing it back into how can you heal that? A lot
Right.
you can do through psychic surgery. You can do that through healing. You can do that through oils. I mean, I work with that with people, and I help them. When you get to that point where you're healing your body and you want to be beautiful, you want to be in your divinity, you want to be in your goddess, and you want to feel comfortable being on the camera, whether it's on Snapchat or not, and you're using a filter, you want to have the ability to put your beautiful lipstick on, to wear something gorgeous, to wear something beautiful, put some oils in a tub. There's great stimulating oils like ylang ylang, or I have, crystals in a roller ball that have beautiful ylang ylang and a peppermint they're warming oils. And it's not just a massage oil for you and your partner. It's something warming, and it brings you, it awakens your soul. And that's what I'm talking about when I talk about that depth on people. And that's what's coming up now. What are your thoughts on that, Beverly? We got about 5 minutes, so I'll let you have the last word.
Okay. You know, you're making a very strong point there. And again, it is all about vibration when we're coming into the stones, you know, the crystals, the oils, everything. And thank you for sharing those runes, because runes can say a lot. I used this deck. It's the 1111 deck,
Ooh.
right? Okay. And it's alignment cards. And
Mm,
so I went into just a shuffle. And so,
uh-huh.
what is the greatest message that I could leave for the audience here today? And what came up was light. And what have we been talking about? Light, right?
Yes.
And the message of the light is, I bathe in the white light of oneness,
Oh.
of oneness. We are all one, right? We're all
Mm,
connected to the divine element of oneness. I'm one with the universe is one with me.
mm,
And so no one is really that much different than each other.
no.
We all have our own individual experiences and stories and what we make it. But when it boils down to the end result, again, it's the frequency and the elevation of where you want to be.
Mm,
Because I'll tell you, it takes a whole lot more work to have a negatively charged vibration than it does to have a positively charged vibration, you know,
yes.
to really be uplifting and working in the oneness with others. So
Mm-hmm.
let's put our heads together and really work into, how can we work into that that psychic surgery, how we can start to clean up this arena of your unseen energy field,
Wow.
right? Let's work and clean up the energy field, because it cleans up the physical body.
Yeah.
And we can work both side by side in how that happens. Let's move seeing this
Mm-hmm.
third dimension. Let's move into seeing what's really out there and what's impacting our world that we
Mm-hmm.
know is there. But if we can't see it, if we can't smell it, if we can't touch it, if we can't hear it, is it really there?
Mm.
Science has proven it's really there. When they move something over here, something else moved over here. They said, well, there's nothing in between. Well, then why is it moving like a teeter-totter?
Right.
So what metaphysics has always known, physics has now said, we have the proof. So if I can leave you with one thing, know your inner workings. Listen, listen to yourself. Believe in yourself,
Mm.
trust in
Ah,
yourself, and let's go on a journey together and change the world, because we're all what? We're all one.
yes, we
We're all
are.
one in the light. So let's
Mm-hmm.
connect. Thank you
Absolutely.
so much, Nicole, for giving me this opportunity to share with your audience. This has been a real delight.
Oh, always, always a wonder-filled conversation. Beverly, how do people get your book and how do people find you?
Oh God, I'm all over the internet, the Beverly Zymet Show. Look it up. Just look up my name. You'll see me with a mic in my hand. The Power Formula. You can look that
No.
up. Go to Amazon, the Power Formula. It's there in soft cover like this, or it's available in Kindle version. If you want an autographed copy, I still have a few on hand. Reach out, message me, and
Mm.
just go find me. I'm all over the social media. Hey, and if you want to be on the show, let me know.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Beverly. It's a pleasure. And I know I'm getting the bug to travel. So I'm gonna start traveling and go around. So I've been thinking about you wholeheartedly. You guys, thank you so much. Go to my website, www.illuminatevegas.com. Reach out to me. Reach out. If message me, go to my website, text me. All my info's out there. Let's get together. Let's do a discovery call and find out how to help you. How can I help you be a better person? How can I help you on your journey? And with that, I'm going to say goodbye. Here we go.
Float in the universe.
And it looks like my audio's not going to work. But hey, guys, love you. Have a great and wonderful day.